It's the time for the package from China. Let's go. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video, we are going to take a close look at not a typical brand. No, this is the Powkiddy. Yep, the RGB number 20. So Powkiddy is one of those companies, for the people who didn't know, like already this is a lot of handhelds. And yep, this is a company that makes too many handhelds in my opinion. But they are very interesting when you're looking at the design, because they are still bringing out all kinds of new models. So this particular one is a quite interesting one. Like the middle part of it looks like a freaking smile. And what they did basically in the inside over here, we're also going to get ourselves like a sticker that you can slap on here. It's kind of funny. I personally really like what they're doing over there. I'm not going to do that, but I just wanted to show you that it's possible. Well, let's take a close look at the handheld today. Let's play some games and see what we're going to get. So one of those interesting features are the back buttons. I must say, like, they try to be innovative, but getting something new every single time. But is it any good? That's the big question of today. So when you try to search Powkiddy, you're going to get a lot of different, let's say, kind of products. I cannot really know like if this company make their own product or they're just slapping labels or doing both. It's a little bit weird if you ask me. Because out of nothing they released this new RGB10 model. I've reviewed a couple of like say Powkiddy devices, but the weird thing is they also use the name on some other devices that were pretty damn horrible, or you can just find them on different brands or different names. So that's more like the confusing part when it comes to Powkiddy. So let's take a close look at the handheld itself and the controls to begin with, because I am not the biggest fan of this. It's all fun and game that they try to do something else, but in this case it's not a good thing. So let's talk about the controls in general. So the D-pad, I must say, like always like with an handheld, it's going to be in gamble if it's going to be a good one. And I can be honest, like the touch itself, I really like it. It's a long travel D-pad and personally really like it. But the positioning, in my opinion, is completely wrong. I personally have like the D-pad over here because you're going to like force your hands in a certain position that is more comfortable than playing like this or that. So when you're looking at the space between everything has been cramped up together. Like we do have like dual analog stick. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to use it, because if you're going to play a lot of old school stuff, you're not going to use it at all. So when you're looking at the positioning, I'm not the biggest fan. Select start are like these micro switches, and of course the event button over here in the middle is also a micro switch. So when you're looking at the ABXY, they're very tiny and they are like okay. I must say, like again, like with the D-pad, if you're going to play like this, it will be okay. But I personally have like a different configuration when it comes to the controls over here. So one of the most interesting features are the back buttons. I have been complaining that some of the buttons are very difficult to reach, and I can tell you they basically listen to this. So when you're looking over here to the L1, L2, R1 and R2, when you're holding it, you can just feel it. It's way better and way easier to navigate through the certain button that you want to have on the back. So they did an amazing job with that. Over here we have even like an on and off switch for the Wi-Fi, volume control. We do have like two Type-C connections, one for charging and the other one for other features. Then we have like a headphone jack out. Here we have the on and off switch, the reset, and then we have like the TF2 game card. So yeah, you can see like we do have two TF cards, and it's pretty damn cool. One has the firmware, the other one have like most of the time like an extension for the games. So when you're looking at the features, they did make some improvements here and there. Alright, so let's boot it up and let's see what we're going to get with the stock firmware. Wouldn't be surprised we're going to get an update in the future, because these basically handhelds, when you're getting them out of the box, there's still a lot of development over here. It runs on Arc OS 2.0, what you can see over there. Sometimes it can take some little bit time to boot up, but when booted up, this is what we're going to get. Now we do have so many different handhelds that we can play our old school games with. I will like mess around with it a little bit, but take consideration like I'm going to focus on the more hard to emulate stuff. Think about Dreamcast, you know, like that's the stuff that I wanted to see. PlayStation Portable, because they love to slap on things on this that's not capable of running due of the limitation of the specs of the device itself. These handhelds are getting more expensive, and a great example is with this one too. But I must say they're not super expensive, and when you're looking at the display itself, it looks amazing. We're now going to get the new generation of IPS panels, and this Powkiddy, I also have one. Sorry, I need to say it correctly. Powkiddy. Okay, so let's start off with some Twisted Metal on PlayStation. Okay, so at the front we're going to get ourselves the speaker. A front-facing speaker is always like very cool, but we only have one of them. So we're not going to have like this amazing stereo effect. The downside also is to these things, if you're going to listen to the music, I will maximize cranking up the volume, but it's not really loud. When it comes to the audio itself, I think it's quite disappointing. Oh yeah. This is a great example. I love to play with the D-pad on this, but so let's see. Oh man, I really need to get used to this. And this is the reason why I want to have the D-pad on this position. It's so much more comfortable, and I don't like to play with the analog stick with some games.
Determination, obsession, hope, the fiery emotions illuminate the two souls.
Oh, the speaker is really high pitched. I don't know if you can hear it, but... Okay, so next up, PlayStation Portable. This is a system that will not run on full speed because these devices are not capable of running it perfectly. Funny thing is, like, despite the thing having like a different resolution screen, it looks very nice. But you can see even like on the FPS that it like goes all places. I think the lowest that I've seen is 40 at the moment. Oh, there he goes to the 30 FPS. Alright, so next up I wanted to play Mortal Kombat 2, and the reason why is because this game has a lot of problems when it comes to these devices. Yeah, and it's very hard to notice it when it comes to the audio, but here you can see like playing actually the game. You can see like it runs pretty damn awful. Take consideration, this isn't really like a really hard to manage game to emulate, but nevertheless, let's try a different one. Just see what arcade does more. Alright, so next up, let's try Mortal Kombat 1. It's less demanding, but I think it still stutters. Maybe with some tinkering we can fix it. But I just wanted to show you out of the box what are we going to get. But it is way better playable than part 2. Alright, so next up, let's try Project Justice of the Sega Dreamcast. Another system I wanted to see if it runs out of the box. Great way to test the D-pad. The D-pad is absolutely amazing. I love it. But if you're searching for a handheld that runs these old stuff, there are so many like handhelds that you can play it on. But it's absolutely an amazing one too, because the display looks absolutely beautiful. But again, I keep saying it, like the D-pad's on the wrong position. Alright, so let's do a quick teardown. So when it comes to this handheld, I was having like mixed feelings. Another thing I personally don't understand is like why they keep releasing all kinds of new handhelds. It's just they make one ultimate one and from that point on go on with the show. That is something I don't understand. Like this thing has some new things to offer, but they also like messing around with the D-pad. Somehow they put it on the right position, or what I think is the right position, and sometimes they just like basically mess it up. So it's kind of weird if you ask me, and I must say that I don't understand what they're doing over there. Better said, like what they're thinking, especially when it comes to this shit pile of invasion of handhelds. So you know, like back in the day I reviewed a lot of crappy cheap ones, but now we're talking about serious amount of money. So let's remove this bad boy and let's take a close look in the inside how the mate is. Alright, so this is what we're going to get in the inside. So over here we do get the lithium battery. It's in 3501. They basically stick it in here with some double-sided tape and you can replace it fairly easy. So if the thing goes broken, you buy another one with the right cable and you can just basically replace it fairly easy. The back buttons work with the micro switches that you can find over here at the back. Alright, so let's take a close look at the inside. So here we do get the rock chip, the 3326. So the rock chip itself is a familiar one that we have seen before, and here we do have like the RAM modules. I find it quite interesting that they not use any cooling whatsoever. So I'm guessing, let's feel it. Yeah, it's not getting really hot, so I'm guessing it is not needed. Alright, so another thing that is quite interesting. So here we do have like the speaker. It's a quite huge one, and they assembled it over here with the plug. And here we do have the rumble function, if I'm saying it correctly. I didn't notice it with playing. Maybe I need to mince around with the software or something like that. But that's basically what we're going to get in the inside. So when you're looking at the Powkiddy, this new model, I'm almost getting the feeling that Powkiddy, it's not like the cheap one versions, but it's like always like slightly different, and I wouldn't say like less quality, especially when you're looking at Ambernick or other brands. This is just a completely different way when they like producing new handhelds, slapping labels, you name it. I already mentioned in the beginning, I gonna like exactly know what Powkiddy is basically wanted to do with this. Like it's a fun thing that they released. I love like this handheld when it comes to the display, but when it comes to controls, not the biggest fan of it. Let me know in the comments what do you think of the RGB20. Would this be something you pick up? Well, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit that little bell, become the Wicked family, and it would be great to see you in the next video.